Did I not record any of that? I did not record any of that. Okay. Alright everybody, welcome back to our next video here. We're going to take a look at the Tavern. Again, we are doing our Minecolonies Sandyton build set here, or style pack. The Tavern is kind of a fun place. It should be one of the earliest buildings that you build for your colony, because it will house your first 4 colonists. Unless you edit the config to have more spawn in when you first initiate your colony, you will only start with 4, and this is the place where they will be housed early game before you build a residence. Of course, you could just build a residence. But the other function the Tavern provides is that visitors will actually come and visit your colony, and they will hang out. They'll wander around, but they'll sit on these little stools or places to sit here and just kind of hang out at the Tavern. I don't usually use paintings in a building, but I thought it needed a little sprucing up from the street view. Without the paintings, it looked very bland inside, so I added those in. I don't generally I just don't like the paintings themselves, the artwork. If I could replace it with anything else, I would. We've got a cellar. Our Tavern has 2 requirements. Number 1 is a standing barrel. Requirement number 2 is a laying barrel. And you just have to have at least one of each. Unless that's updated, but I don't think it has. That's just the minimum requirements for the Tavern. This standing barrel is our Tavern hut block, but we've got a nice bar here. You'll probably see some visitors standing on it. Maybe they'll wander around a little bit. You can pretend they're dancing on the bar, having a riotously good time. If we head upstairs, we will find our living quarters for our colonists. There's just 3 little rooms, 2 rooms with a single bed, 2 rooms with dual beds. If you have the Tavern and you build another house, you will then have 5 beds, or essentially room for 5 colonists, at which point they will start breeding. So we gotta have 1 double occupancy room, you know, to make that happen. Anyways, we've got some more seating upstairs here on this little balcony. On a side note, I'm not entirely sure this is going to work. This will take some play testing just to see if they can effectively path through the panels without getting completely stuck. So that may go away, and we'll replace it with nothing, just some furniture in there. It'll be a big open room, because that's just sometimes the way you got to do it. Back of the building, just a little window decoration, our string of buttons along the ceiling line, and of course our little wall decoration on the back. Now what is important for the Tavern is, let's go ahead and jump on over to the build sequence here, and we'll take a look at how I broke those down, because we have some important tags to talk about. Alright, so here we are at our level 5 Tavern, and this is our schematic. All the placeholder blocks are necessary so that things don't overwrite the empty space where these blocks are not. But we've got our level 5 Tavern. Let's take a look at level 2. Now when we copy and paste this over, and I need the tag tool here, our tags will come along with it. So if I sneak right click on the hut block with the tag tool, you'll see that all of our tags come up, and I have a lot more tags than you're probably used to seeing. Just like the restaurant, we can assign places for colonists to sit. We always have to assign our ground level tag. Let me fall down. And of course we have these places up here to sit. Now that's already been done over here. There's a real simple tutorial for the tag tool that you can find somewhere in my YouTube channel there. But that's our level 2 build. Just remove some decoration. Did a block replacement for sandstone, because over here we're going to go full sandstone just to make it easier for you, since this is a early level build. And the Tavern, as you noticed, only has 3 levels, not 5. So that's another difference there with the Tavern. And if I click on this, you can see that I have extra seating spots where nothing is. So if I right click on nothing, you can see they're blank here. So I can just click on this X to get rid of it. Alternatively, if I close this and I come down here, I need to have a block in the correct place. But if I click on that, I can remove the sit tag as well, get rid of that block. But it's just as easy to come into the user interface here, get rid of all of these empty sit tags, because the colonists will try and sit in all of those empty sit tags. Now, one thing that you also don't want to do with the tavern, and this was something that we found out early on with the sit tags, is that if, let's say I had brought this wall in, I wanted to make the tavern a little smaller, so I brought the walls in here for level 1. So there's now a wall here. All of these sit tags would not exist in this level, but if we upgrade to level 2, where these sit tags are now in the level 1 wall, we might end up suffocating some visitors, and then they'll die and your colony gets a bad reputation and visitors stop showing up for a little while. So be aware of what you're doing with your sit tags so that you don't end up with a sit tag from one level going into another level that ends up inside of a wall or can somehow kill people in your colony on accident. But I believe that pretty much wraps it up for the tavern. I don't think there's anything else to cover there. Thank you for joining me. As you can see here, we've got our Fletcher coming up next. That's the mechanic there. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. It doesn't quite work in our storefront series. The tavern will either sit independently someplace else if you want, or sits in quite nicely with our storefront series. So you have a choice there to use it, and we'll build some facades. We'll talk about decorations later towards the very end of the series. And I mentioned it much earlier with the original storefront series, but we'll cover it again. But anyways, I'm rambling on. Thanks for joining me. Hope you all enjoyed this weekend's videos. You've got one more yet to come out today. I think should be out in another hour. Like and subscribe if you like what's going on here. And we'll see you next weekend. Or, well, we'll see you in a little bit. Thank you, and bye-bye.